Welcome back to Stone & Watch Mandalorian Review. Today we're going to be doing a review of Chapter 5, The Gunslinger, the new episode that dropped on Disney Plus Friday morning. Now this show was written and directed by Dave Filoni from Clone Wars and Rebels, which is pretty damn cool. Runtime of 35 minutes. The new actors we've got in this episode this week, we've got Amy Sedaris playing Peli Motto. We got Jake Cannavale playing Toro Calican, Ming-Na Wen playing Fennec Shand, and we've got Rio Hackford playing Riot Mar. Now, without getting into heavy spoilers right off the bat, my initial reaction to the show was pretty good. I have to say though, and I'm a little disappointed on it, that out of the first five episodes we've gotten so far, this is probably my least favorite. Because I don't really see where it furthers on with the story, but it is Dave Filoni, and he's very famous for in Rebels and Clone Wars, putting stuff in that you don't see the first time, you don't see or hear the first time, and what have you. I don't think the man knows the meaning of filler episodes. Everybody says, about these filler episodes. There's always at least something in every episode that he does that puts in something to further on the story. And most of the time you just miss it. But that being said, I did like it. I like this series a lot. My only major bitch with this whole entire thing so far is the runtime for each episode. Other than that, I'm enjoying it. It's got the feel of the original trilogy. It's got the feel of something new, something we've never seen before and what have you, but yet it's very, very familiar. So I like this show a lot. So now if you have not watched Chapter 5 of The Mandalorian on Disney Plus, go watch it, come back, and we can have a big, huge, long discussion, because you want to watch this thing for yourself for the first time as much as you can in this day and age, which I know for a fact is pretty hard. But that being said, you've been warned. Now we start off the episode with the Mandalorian in a dogfight with another bounty hunter. I'm assuming that that's the character Riot Mar, even though they never say his name at all and what have you, but that's Star Wars. Now he says, hey, give me the kid, Mando, and what have you, and he's flipping switches. We see baby Yoda in a makeshift car seat, which is kind of cool to keep him away from the buttons and whatnot. And then finally the other bounty hunter says, hey, I can either take you in warm or I can take you in cold. Now that must make the Mandalorian mad, because that's his line, and he does a Top Gun maneuver and what have you, hits the brakes, and the guy flies by, and he locks on. He goes, hey, that's my line, and he takes him out. And so that was kind of funny and a little bit cheesy at the same time too. But we find out that the Mandalorian ship is losing fuel and badly damaged, so he's got to put down. And of all places that we're going to put down on, we're going to Tatooine, which was kind of cool, because I was wondering whether or not if we were actually going to see any familiar places that we've been to from the movies and whatnot. And of all places that we got to go to first, we're going to go to Tatooine. Now, as he's coming in closer to the planet and what have you, we hear from Mos Eisley Tower. Now, they tell him to go to Docking Bay 35. Now, I think it would have been kind of funnier or more of a callback if they would have told him to go to Docking Bay 94 and what have you, but it is what it is. And they probably thought about it too and thought it would be too cheesy. Now, after he lands and whatnot, barely lands, we see him. He puts Baby Yoda in this compartment, what have you, so he can sleep. And he walks out. We walk into 3 pit droids, which is a callback to episode 1, which was kind of cool and what have you. Now, I saw online that some people were complaining about them being in the episode. It didn't really bother me. They were there for a comic effect, and they pretty much did what they were supposed to do. So it didn't really bother me them being in the episode. But this is where we meet up for the first time with Peli Motto. Now, she is the repair mechanic for this docking bay facility. Now, she goes over and she tells him that all the repairs she's going to have to do is going to take him longer without the droids. He gives her, I got this, and which was not enough. He comes and he walks around on Mos Eisley, which we see that's not too many people there. We see Stormtrooper Pikes, helmets on pikes and what have you. So the Empire did not fare well after the fall on Tatooine. But we also see there's not too many people on Mos Eisley. There's not as many people as there was compared to like the prequels and episode 4. Now we go back to the docking bay and we see Motto talking to the droids, and out comes Baby Yoda. And then she's like, what? And then she picks him up and what have you. And just like everybody else, she immediately falls in love with Baby Yoda. She goes, not only am I going to charge him a lot for all these repairs, I'm going to charge him extra for taking care of the kid and what have you. But then we cut to the Mandalorian, he walks into the cantina from episode 4 of all places. Now we see that the droid detector that was up on the wall is no longer there. And we actually see droids walking around inside the cantina. We actually see R5, which I believe is from New Hope and what have you, the one with the bad motivator and whatnot. Now, I don't know for a fact that that is R5, but it would be kind of cool to find out that it is. And seeing how it is Dave Filoni, he's infamous for this kind of thing, so I can see him doing that. You know what I mean? I really can. Now, as we go further into the cantina, we come across another droid that we've seen before. Now, this looks like the droid from Return of the Jedi that was fitting the droids were restraining bolts and giving jobs on Jabba's sail barge, but in the concept art there was more of them and stuff like that, so I don't think it's that exact same droid, but it'd be kind of cool to find out that if it is. And that's where we run into the character Toro Calican. Now he's a young bounty hunter looking to join the guild. Now he's got this for his first job. He's going to try to capture Fennec Shand. She's a well-trained mercenary assassin and stuff like that. And the Mandalorian tells him, man, you haven't really been doing this all this long, have you? And the kid's like, we know this is like my first job. I'm trying to get into the guild. He's like, man, she's a well-trained assassin. You have no idea what you were getting into. No idea. So, well, good luck with that. Well, he finally convinces the Mandalorian to help him and what have you by giving him all the bounty. He just wants the credit so he can get himself into the guild and what have you. And the Mandalorian agrees. He says, hey, meet me over at Docking Bay 35 in about 20 minutes or so and what have you. Now we go back to the docking facility. Motto tries to get more money out of the Mandalorian for taking care of the kid. He kind of blows her off, and we go outside, and Toro's out there with a pair of speeder bikes and what have you. Now, Toro notices the kid with Motto, but he doesn't really say anything, but they take off, which is kind of like a little bit of a callback to episode 2 with Anakin and what have you. And it's also a little bit of a callback to Count Dooku, also from episode 2, which was kind of cool. Not so much from Return of the Jedi, but those are totally different kind of speeder bikes, and it's a totally different environment and what have you. But we run into some sand people, and we find out that they communicate in sign language. Now the Mandalorian talks to the sand people and cuts them a deal for passage by giving them the kids brand new binoculars and stuff, which he kind of complains about and what have you, but it is what it is, and they take off after their bounty. Now they travel for a little bit, and they come across a dewback dragging somebody behind it and what have you, so they take some cover, and he say, hey, cover me. He goes down to check out what's going on. We come to find out it's another dead bounty hunter. He even finds another tracking fob on him. Now, before he can say and do anything, shots are fired. Now, he is saved because he's like at such a distance and what have you. If it wasn't for his armor, he probably wouldn't have made it. Now, he tells the kid, now, what are we going to do? We'll have to wait she's got the high ground, so she's going to wait for us to make the first move. We're going to wait for dark. Now, as Mando takes a nap and what have you, the kid's sitting there drawing on him and what have you, and he's like, are you done? And what have you, he goes, okay, we're going to use blast charges and what have you, and hopefully it gets us close enough and what have you, which the plan almost kind of works and what have you, but eventually Fennec takes out the Mandalorian's speeder bike and what have you. It only leaves Toro and what have you, but he finally does get the drop on her, and they're actually able to capture her. Now, the Mandalorian says something about going back and getting the dewback that it was with the bounty hunter and what have you. The kid's like, well, how I know you're not going to just take off with the bounty after I leave and stuff like that. He's like, fine, I'll do it. You watch over her and stuff like that, but don't let her get near the bike and don't kill her because she's no good to his dead, which is kind of like another callback to Empire Strikes Back and what have you, where we hear the same thing where Boba Fett tells Darth Vader that Han Solo's no good to him dead and what have you. So it was kind of cool to hear that and what have you. Now, after First Light comes like that, now Fennec is talking to the kid, and she's like, tell me, hey, do you know the Mandalorian actually betrayed the guild and what have you? He's worth more than we are and stuff like that, you know. And then the kid goes, oh, yeah. He remembers seeing the kid and what have you. And she was like, I can help you. You could, you know, not only would you'll be legendary in the guild, they'd be welcoming with open arms and stuff like that. He's like, you know what? That's not a bad idea. Now, instead of, he goes to kind of help her, he ends up shooting her instead, which I was not seeing that at all. And he's like, well, if he's worth more than as much as you say he is, then what do I need you for? Right? So he ends up taking off, and he goes back to the repair facility. When the Mandalorian arrives back with the dewback, he sees that Fennec is dead and what have you, and he goes back to the repair facility already knowing what he's in for. And when he finally gets here, we got Toro with the kid and Motto and what have you. And when the Moto goes to cuff the Mandalorian, he's got a flash charge and on back behind his head. Now, as right before the kid is about ready to get his glory and what have you, the Mandalorian shoots off the flare, blinds everybody, gets his gun, and takes the kid out. Now, he takes the kid's money after finding Baby Yoda, and he uses that to pay Moto for the repairs and what have you, and he leaves. And that's pretty much the end of the episode. But then it comes back, and we see this mysterious figure walking up to Fennec Shand. Now, did she actually survive? But she's been laying there for quite a while, so I don't think so. Now, there's some people speculating that they think they might know who this is and what have you. I think they're thinking a lot. There's a couple of people out there that are speculating that it could be possibly Boba Fett, but we probably won't know for a while. Be kind of cool to find out if it actually is, because there was like some kind of story, I believe it was from a certain point of view, that said that, you know, he did get out and what have you. How he got out, we're not really sure. And it'd be kind of cool to see Boba Fett again, to actually finally prove. I know in Legends they say he got out, but that's not canon. So, but it is what it is. I mean, it'd be kind of cool to see if they actually go that route, but we'll have to wait and see. So I don't know, man. Overall, I like this episode. I mean, unfortunately, it's not my favorite out of the 5 we've gotten so far out of 8, but it is what it is. I mean, I am a little disappointed, and I figured I would like this one a lot more than I did, seeing how Filoni directed and wrote this one. So I was a little bummed when I found out it wasn't what I thought it would be, but I did enjoy it overall. Now, are you geeked to see R5 in something again? Do you actually think that is R5 from New Hope? Let me know in the comments down below. What'd you think about the episode overall? What'd you think about the baby car seat? That was kind of funny, kind of cool, funny at the same time, and what have you. That dogfight was pretty damn neat. Mos Eisley was pretty much a ghost town, right? So I don't know. What'd you think about that? Let me know in the comments down below. Who is that mysterious character towards the end of the episode? Do you think it's Boba Fett? Do you think it's another bounty hunter? Let me know in the comments down below. So I don't know. Again, I liked it. I enjoyed this one a lot, not as much as I did the other ones, but we'll have to wait and see where we go with the story from here. So, I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Please like and subscribe and click on that bell so you can be notified every time we drop another video. See you next week, people. Peace.